Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. So this one's called Commiseration slash Don't Give Up until you feel like anything beyond where you're at is a victory lap. Okay, and I steal that from my homeboy Stan. That line, victory lap, because he feels like anything he's doing at this point is kind of just a victory lap, because he's already fucking achieved his goals. But this video is inspired by Jay Fingers, and I already told him that I watched like several of his videos last night, and I already told him I'm gonna rip off some of the shit. Okay, so but first of all, oh shit, I didn't start my shit. Fuck. Why can't I remember that? It's so simple. But first of all, I want to say, like, me and Jay have met in real life, and it was kind of funny because I won't say where we're at, but in case he wants to keep that private, because that's his spot. Me and my lady, we were twisted, and my lady's like, I want a slice of pizza, and then we'll like end it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we jump in there, and I just hear Jason, and I'm like, what? I look over and I see Jay. I'm like, oh, what's up, brother? Fuck yeah, what's up, brother, dude? So then we hung out. We got all fucked up even more. So anyway, me and Jay have met in real life. I love the guy, man. So anything I say in here is not negative toward Jay. Absolutely not. But I want to start here. From some of his videos that I watched like 3 or 4 last night. And one thing he said is talking about the optimism being beaten out of you. And I kind of feel like he's in that place right now. And I understand that place because Hollywood is very fucking. Let me say this first of all, then I'll get back to that. If you're not following Jay, I would say follow Jay, especially if you don't live in LA. Like he does a fucking excellent job of just sort of showcasing the sort of real way, like life on the street as a writer, trying to break in and and then going out on the town and you're in Hollywood and this kind of shit and then you're at a food truck and then you meet some fucking random dude and you talk to them and some chick walks by and she's like, fuck yeah, whatever. And then, some crazy guy, like walks past. I know I'm not supposed to say crazy. Whatever. Mentally ill? Is that the correct term? I don't fucking know. Walk past like fucking, like this kind of shit. He does a really good job of just encapsulating the sort of essence of Hollywood in his videos, nightlife especially. Perfect, man. Like that's what the fuck it is. It's gritty. It's not pretty. It's not the fucking Oscars. It's not none of that shit. He does a good job of encapsulating, life on the streets as a writer trying to break in. You know what I mean? So I definitely recommend you follow him. Unfollow me, go follow him. Okay. But anything else there? Let me go to. He was talking about the optimism being beaten out of you, and I agree, man. Like I've been there, bro. And I guess this is part general and part 2J a bit. Like not that I'm trying to pick on you, brother. Just my thoughts on the shit. You know we're brothers, bro. So what that made me think of is I think people write fuck it scripts. We've heard of that. People say, write a fuck it script. Now we're getting into the video. Write a fuck it script. I disagree with that. I think not write a fuck it script, write a fuck you script, meaning to Hollywood. Fuck you, Hollywood. You know, that's why I wrote my first script, because I was fucking sick of their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not gonna go through all of it, but you know, I'd been fired off a fucking movie as a composer. I've done music for big movies that you've fucking heard of, but I can never tell you what it is because I signed a fucking NDA. So, and one person figured out one of them, and I was like, how the fuck did you figure that out, brother? He's like, that's one of them, right? I'm like, I cannot confirm nor deny, but not small movies, okay? So anyway, so yeah, that was my attitude. Writing my first script that got me signed is fuck you, Hollywood. It wasn't even meant for them. You see the difference? That's one of the things I want to. This video might be long. That's one of the things I want to point out here is it wasn't a fucking script, because I think sometimes I need to speed up my talking because I'm going long. I think one of the things is, I think if you do a fuck it script, I think a lot of people can confuse themselves and think they're writing a fuck it script, but they're really not. They're writing a mostly I think I'm trying to go all the way, but you're kind of not. You know, you kind of not. You can read it and be like, nope. Like, I can tell off page one that this is not a fucking script, dude. Okay? This is trying to pretend to be a fucking script, but it's not. So what I'm saying is, try a fuck you script. Fuck you, Hollywood. You know, I'm gonna prove how fucking talented I am. I don't give a fuck about you guys. You know what I mean? That's the script that got me signed to CAA. And I'm gonna name names in this one, by the way, because I often hold them back. But it's been long enough. Who gives a shit at this point? That's a script that Sherry finally read and said, I think this might be good. And gave it to Joe Cohen, head of TV at CAA, and he said, I fucking love it. And then gave it to Tiffany Ward, and she's like, so do I. And then Ryan Lee jumped on, and then they were my agents. And then, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I would tell you that the best, and I know people will say, let me finish my sentence. I always interrupt myself. I would say the best I've done with scripts is fuck you scripts. Not fuck it script, because that's not far enough. That's not controversial enough. That's not passionate enough. You see what I'm saying? It's not passionate enough. I don't believe you actually give a fuck about this. It seems like you're trying to break in, bro. It doesn't seem like you're like, I would write this if no one ever fucking saw it. Get me? That's the script you need to write. Write the script that you don't care if anybody ever fucking sees it. Like Confederacy of Dunces. Okay? And you gotta understand, I made this point before, you know, times are different now, a bit, a lot, but who gives a fuck, man? Like, I was at the CA, I've said this before, so I'll make it quick. I was at the CA screening of Adaptation, and the head of Sony got up and said, we normally don't, you guys know me, I never get up here and talk about this shit, okay? But this script, you know, we gave Charlie the material, which is Orchid Thief, and we knew once we saw the script, we had to fucking make it. And he has a scene in there where he's masturbating, okay? He's jacking off. Are you offended yet? He's jacking off to the picture of Susan Orlean in the fucking, you know, on the inside cover, whatever the fuck that's called. And they said, yep, let's put millions of dollars into that. And then it gets critically acclaimed. Do you see? You gotta go beyond what you think. I'm trying to make it safe and blah blah blah. No, bro, you gotta go beyond, way beyond that. I'm just telling you, man. You know, let me sidestep over here real quick. Hack. So I've been called a hack many times by people who haven't done a fucking thing in the industry. Okay? Like service people, for example. All right? Let me ask you this. All right? Let's keep things fucking factual. Okay, if I was a hack and that was all Sherry, I'll get back to this other stuff. I got new shit I'm gonna talk about in this one. If I was a fucking hack and it was all about Sherry, then why the fuck would Joe Cohen be like, I love it, and give it to Tiffany Ward and she signs me as a favor? Okay, cool. Let's say that happened. Let's pretend that fucking happened. Okay, then why the fuck did I go out to, I'm making a point here. It's not about me bragging. Why the fuck did, when my shit went out, did a lot of tastemakers be like, fuck yeah, this is fucking good? You think that's all favors? Let me name names. And I mean this with the most respect, okay? But I'm just giving examples. Like Erwin Stoff, the head of 3 Arts, liked one of my scripts. Okay, loved it, said it was fucking awesome. Brought me in, said, do you want a fucking job? I'll tell the studio to make this for me. The movie that I've wanted to do, that inspired me to be in the industry in the fucking first place. I'm like, absolutely, oh my God, what? I'm so honored. Absolutely, yeah, fuck yeah. Okay? He's not a small player, bro. Okay? Jeremy Kleiner dug it. Okay? Moonlight. What else? I mean, now I'm naming names. Okay? Because Frankie Boy said I don't name names. Okay? What did Jeremy do? Moonlight, 12 Years a Slave, Selma. Okay? You see what I'm saying? He knows what the fuck he's talking about. Okay? And I've sent him several things. All right? I've sent him several things, and you know, he's always passed, but I trust his taste. He's a fucking tastemaker, all right? I highly respect Jeremy. Who else? You know, like Bonaventura, fucking Amblin. See, if I'm a hack, why am I passing on fucking, you know, why am I passing on Bonaventura? Let's be real about that shit. You know, on one of my shows, you know, DeLuca attached to my political show. So I'm a hack. So you, like, when people call me hack, then you're calling DeLuca a hack for liking my shit. You're calling Amblin a hack for liking my shit. You're calling Bonaventura a hack for liking my shit. You're talking shit on CAA. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You run a fucking service. Shut the fuck up and sit down, or do something. Prove you're fucking talented. Let me read your script, dude. Like I've said a million fucking times. Or debate you. I'll shatter you. I will body slam the fuck out of you. All right? Service people, they won't do it. They won't do it because they know I'll say shit like this, but in a much calmer manner. But they still want to call me a fucking hack. Fuck you. Okay? And going back, I'll get to some other. I'll get to some other shit that I think is probably helpful. But I'm trying to point out that people will always talk shit on you in the industry, no matter what you do. You know? And Sherry said to me, reminder, before I ever wrote my first script, I've written 14 at this point, soon to be 16, okay? Whenever the industry gets their shit together, I'll go out with those scripts. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck. I don't need the industry otherwise. But, you know, so reminder that I'm going to get back to some J Finger stuff. But Sherry told me before I wrote my first script, she said, once you get to a certain level, I've said this multiple times, but get in your head. Once you get to a certain level of expertise, meaning you get signed by a big agency and you're dealing with big players, you know, like that's where I was at on a certain show. I was passing on, I'm like, how the fuck am I passing on Bonaventura? What the fuck? Because I had to choose someone, right? So I went with this person, you know, with that production company. It never got made, so we can pick on them. Okay, cool. But have you ever been there? Have you ever been to that level? You know? If you surpass that, cool, fucking rad. I'm trying to help people get to that level, and so then they can go beyond that. That's what my channel is about. But the biggest. Cherry told me, once you get to that level, it's whatever way the wind fucking blows. Okay? And my biggest example of that was Gone Girl, man. Okay? Because that's, my mom sent me a thing on Gone Girl today. Because she saw it, like people are still talking about that fucking movie. She sent it to me from The Guardian. She said, did you know this? And it was talking about how Reese was supposed to star in it and all this other shit. And talking about how they're, a team of writers and this kind of shit. I'm like, that's bullshit, Mom. Like, that's not what the fuck happened. Okay? And there was some other shit that was nonsense. And, I'm like, no, Mom, that's not reality. And if Gillian I don't think Gillian likes me. By the way, I'll say that. I don't think so. Even though I'm the only one. I'll say it because who cares at this point? Fuck it. What are you gonna blackball me from? I don't give a fuck about Hollywood. I'm the only one who fucking like super stood up for her. To get her that money. That was me, dude. Okay? I'm the only fucking person on the planet that was super hardcore looking out for her. So I'm not gonna fucking apologize for that. All right? But that showed me that lesson, that it's whichever way the fucking wind blows. Because I thought it's guaranteed to sell first thing in the fucking morning. And it wasn't. And the deal completely fucking changed. I'm telling you. She knows this. The Guardian talking all this bullshit. There was no fucking extra writers and shit. Gillian wasn't even meant to write it, and she knew that. You know who it was supposed to be? It was supposed to be Leslie Dixon. That's who the fuck it was supposed to be. And she was already in talks with her. She already knew that. So she was kind of blindsided by the fact that Fox, at the end of the day, gave her basically 15 minutes to figure out if she wants to become a screenwriter. That's what happened. But Leslie Dixon was going to get kicked off it then. You see what I'm saying? So that's a hard decision to make. To have the knowledge, like for months, that Leslie's going to write it, but I gotta bump her out of the way to make this deal with Fox. So we were like, okay, so now what? I guess fold Leslie back in as a fucking producer. Then everybody's happy, Okay, so that's the biggest lesson I've ever had. I don't care how long ago. That's the biggest lesson I've ever had in the fucking industry. That's why I mention it so fucking much, because there's so much to learn from that. Okay, but let me go back to this. Let me go back to Jay's talking about. I've seen people I know. Or let me go back to the top. He talks about read requests from people you don't know. I've gotten so many of those myself, and he's not talking about it from the standpoint of, like, I'm a big shot, this kind of shit. He's not talking about it from that standpoint. He's just saying, like, if you don't know me, like, why is the first thing out of your mouth, hey, can you read my script? And a lot of people, this video is going to go long. I don't give a fuck. Hey, can you read my script? It's like, I don't even fucking know you. I've never seen you. I've never talked to you. None of that. I've never met you. I've never thrown back shots with you like I have with Jay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember what we were drinking that night, Jay. What were we drinking? I don't fucking remember. But anyway, we had fun. But yeah, man, like that's just not a thing to do, you know. And Jay said, like, dude, like honestly, I don't have time for that, you know. And I get a fuck ton of requests as well, you know. I'm not saying I'm some big deal or whatever, but you know, if I read everybody's script who asked me to read the script, I'd be doing nothing but reading people's scripts for fucking free. Honestly, man. That'd be my all day, every day, just reading scripts for people for free and giving them notes. You know what I mean? And by the way, I want to say, Jay, if you happen to see this, man, if you want me to take a look at Azalea, let me know. I'll put it on the top of the stack, brother. I can't promise when I'll get to it, but I should probably say that in private. But just saying, bro. I do want to check it out. But you just, like, people think, like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, just read my shit. It takes a long time to read this shit, dude, and give you notes and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, so that's that. So Jay also said, I think I got this correct. I've seen people I know are not as good as me. What am I doing wrong? Why am I failing? Or excuse me, why am I falling short? Why am I not connecting? Bro, I know that feeling, you know, and to any other writer out there, I know that fucking feeling where you're just like, dude, I know my scripts are fucking good. I know that. And that comes from Terry Rossio telling me that shit. That you have to know when your fucking scripts are good. You do. You do. You. Not them. You have to know when your fucking scripts are ready. Not your fucking agents, not your manager, not your producer, not the studio. You. Okay? Because you're claiming to be the fucking pro. All right? I never said my videos are soft and fluffy. Okay? And that's what's funny, sidebar, that's what's funny about how I got unfollowed by a bunch of people over fucking, am I using the right word here? Innocuous, malignant, innocuous, yeah. Innocuous fucking political, I guess you could call them, like, posts. Like, what that tells me is people like that probably will not make it in the industry because they're too fucking soft. And that's why I say you gotta be able to fucking handle it, brother. Okay? Because people will try to beat you the fuck down. All right? So, if you're gonna be offended that easily, what the fuck? I wasn't even that political. Sidebar, real quick. Let me step over here. Sidebar, do you want to have a political conversation? I will. You know, I wrote a political show. That's the one that DeLuca attached to. That's the show that I had. My consultants were dudes actually trying to create Democracy 2.0, actually trying to create a new country, and they signed a memorandum deal with the president of a country. It wasn't a fucking joke. And I got their Simon & Schuster IP myself. Okay? If you want to have a political conversation, I'm gonna go way up here about nation building, all that shit. Did you know you could, like, if you try to start a new country, you can get insurance for that? Did you fucking know that? Like, do not even try to talk to that shit about, like, I'm not talking about surface level bullshit politics. I'm talking about way up here, nation building. You want to have that debate? Like, I will body slam you, okay? So, and the fact that people, you know, jumped out, that just shows me. That's my point here. My point is not how smart I am. I spent 3.5 years studying this shit, but I don't say anything about it online. I mentioned a few fucking things, and these people are like, oh my God, oh, tears. Then you're probably not gonna fucking make it. Okay? Sherry was known as being one of the nicest people in the industry. She was widely known for that, okay? And she would still tell you, I guarantee you, she's standing right next to me. Sherry, is this true? Is the industry tough as a motherfucker? She'd be like, yeah, it is. Okay? I guarantee you, she'd be like, I don't disagree with anything he's saying right now. And sidebar, and he's not lying. So, let me go here for a second. It reminds, let me go here because I forgot. Optimism being beaten out of you reminds me of, Christina Aguilera, who I went to the Golden Globes with. But she has a song, Fighter, I think it's called. A little bit stronger. You know, I don't know the fucking lyrics exactly, but that song is about being fucked over by the industry and being stronger and saying, fuck that. Fuck that, I'm gonna prove you wrong. That's the attitude you gotta have. Okay? Like, why do you think she's a worldwide fucking superstar? Because she said, fuck that. You know? But going back to, I've seen people I know are not as good as me. What am I doing wrong? Why am I falling short? Why am I not connecting? I've been there, you know, and I was trying to make that point with Gone Girl that it almost didn't fucking sell, you know. That might be, see, I think me saying that could come across as offensive to Gillian, but, you know, she knows that it was at the end of the fucking day. She had 15 minutes to figure it the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she had all day to like, no, there was a fucking ticking clock on it. They said, you got 15 minutes to, she had 30 minutes to figure it out. But really, once you get a hold of someone and you're trying to get a hold of them, like, hello, pick up your phone, like, then you got then she maybe has like 15 minutes to figure that out, okay? High pressure situation, okay? But, yeah. That song by Christina is about telling the industry to go fuck themselves. Like, I made it in spite of you. So when I see these people crying about, like, Jason's such a fucking dick and he's too hard on people or, you know, whatever, like, I'm not, bro. I'm trying to tell you how it's gonna be. And if you can reach that point where, you know, that's all I would say. If you can reach that point of anything beyond this is a victory lap to you, then cool. Then you've done it. And for me, I already have, dude. I don't give a fuck who says I haven't. I don't care. Why would I care? You know, I used to. I used to have that, like, oh, fuck. I just want to prove to these motherfuckers. I proved that on Gone Girl, on that deal, to myself, and I didn't realize that would be my I won moment. I didn't know that. I thought it'd be about me. It wasn't. It was about me helping another writer achieve that moment. And then everything from there becomes a victory lap. If I ever get anything made, if I ever make anything, that's cool. But I don't have that panic now, ever since then. But I know that feeling of reading screenplays or seeing people pass you by and you're like, your real thought, you know, I would never say that to the person or name them, but your real thought is that script is a pile of fucking shit, man. How the fuck are they making that? My shit's way better than that. you know. But sometimes the reason is you're going. Sometimes the reason is your shit is so tastemakery that only this many people can make it, and all these other people that want to make crap don't know how to make that movie or TV show. They don't know how to make it, or they don't have the fucking they don't have the juice to get it made. Like there's plenty of fucking people who label themselves producers that I would never fucking send a script to because I know they can't get it fucking made. So what's the fucking point? Send it to them. I read your script. I loved it. Let's do some work on it. Fuck you. You can't get it made. I don't give a fuck what you think. What have you done? Okay? Like my political show. I know the only chance I would ever have to get that made is someone at DeLuca's level, you know, when he was producing. Someone like that. These people, no, dude, it's too expensive, bro. No one's gonna fucking trust you with that. I fucking know that already. You're not gonna fool me into doing some fucking notes for you. Fuck off. And for free. Nope, that's not gonna happen. And you want to attach, let's be honest in this one, man. And you want to attach as producer? I'm not going to let you attach to this shit. Are you fucking crazy? You know, but these people want to tell me he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, sure, buddy. Sure I don't. Then why don't you debate me? Because you know I'll go like that. Boop, oh, whoops, I tripped you on that fucking question, didn't I? You don't have a fucking good answer for that. And we're live though, bro. Okay? I'm not joking around on this video, dude. I mean, I am, but I'm serious about that. I'll debate anybody, dude. I don't give a fuck who they are. Except for Ari Emanuel. Nope. You know, I'm joking. Within reason. I mean, the services, that kind of shit. I'll debate any single one of them. But I do want to say in this one that I am friends with people who are you know, acquaintances, I should say, with like some consultants and shit like this. You know what I mean? I don't have anything against them. So it just depends, really. So my point there is what are you doing wrong? You might be going to the wrong person. You might be going to the wrong people who don't really, they can't make it. They can't get it made. They don't have the juice. Okay, so let me hit that. Why am I falling short? Why am I not connecting? Here's the thing. An executive at one of my parties, an executive, we were just off to the side, just chit-chatting, and he said to me, he said, I've read several scripts that I thought were fucking amazing. And I said no. This is a true story, dude. Don't believe me, I don't give a fuck. So I'm like, why? So you thought the script was fucking amazing and you passed? And he's like, yeah. Because I can't take the chance that I'm wrong. Like, I loved the script, but it doesn't quite fit our mandate, and I don't want to get fired. So the more I say no, the more I get a paycheck. Because then they think I'm doing my job. Okay? So I'm not saying that of all executives, because some executives have the balls to be like, this is a fucking amazing script. Let's try to put this together. But some don't. I mean, some are like, hey man, I'm gonna play the game, dude. And yeah, I love the script, but I said no because I'm just trying to stay employed. So there's my point there is not that you should assume that. My point there is there's any reason under the fucking sun why people are saying no. You know, I've been told straight to my fucking face by people that I loved it, but I can't. But we can't make that. That's not what we do. But I fucking love it, bro. But I can't fucking do anything with it because that's just not what we do. It's not what we're known for. That's not our brand, you know. So I wouldn't automatic. My point there is I wouldn't automatically assume that you're not connecting, especially if it's just the fucking services saying that you're not connecting. You know, I don't give a flying fuck what the services say. I've said that a million fucking times. You know, I've said a million times, and I'll keep beating that into the fucking ground. Like Frankie Boy said that he stands behind his stupid ass fucking writer. Meanwhile, Bella Bajaria, you know, was on that script. Go look up who Bella Bajaria is, bro. Here's Franklin. Here's Bella Bajaria. Mike Sealing. Okay? Who the fuck do you think I give a fuck about more about what they think? And Frankie Boy thinks he's gonna hurt my feelings by saying, here's Frankie Boy. He stands behind his reader. His reader's right here, the bottom, the very bottom, right there. You think I give a fuck what they think? It was just a test to see if your shit was full of shit. And to me, it was. So then I say that. Sidebar, I don't dislike Frankie. I think he's funny, actually. But just he doesn't realize he's being funny, which makes it funny. Okay? Jay said, you get a win, but you take a bigger loss. Yeah, man. Like that's a lot of the industry, which really sucks. Really, really fucking sucks that you get whatever. You get an 800-pound gorilla saying like, I want you to write this thing for me. Some shit like this, you know? And then it falls apart, or you know, some other show falls apart, or this you get an 800-pound gorilla on this show, and you're like if this gets made, I'm gonna be a fucking like multi-millionaire, bro. This is flagship, bro. HBO's like, yeah, we're into this, man. You know, spoken to them fucking like, you know, several meetings and just texting them shit like, you know, here's some shit I'm thinking, and they get back to me. You know what I mean? Like, I think this shit's gonna get made as a flagship show for a fuck ton of money. And then it falls apart. For reasons you cannot predict, you know. And that's one thing that's difficult about the industry. And then, you know, based on that shit, then you have these dumbass, motherfucking, stupid ass service dumb fucks or whomever talking shit on you. They've never even been in that position. You know what I mean? Or you'll have, you know, you get it from both sides. You know, you get it from the stupid ass service people who are like, you haven't gotten anything produced. And you're like, dude, I've tried the fuck out to get my shit produced with huge people, and you never have done anything with these people. Okay, so what the fuck are you talking about? You know? But then you have bigger writers, some of them who are dicks, be like, you've never had anything produced, so I will step on your face, and you have no right to say anything about the industry. And you're like, bruh, whatever, dude. You see what I'm saying? That's the industry for you. And here's another way the industry is for you. I'm just gonna fucking rant and rave. Who gives a fuck? They will invite, excuse me, they will invite you to the biggest parties in the world, in the most, not even the biggest. They'll invite you to that shit too. The most exclusive is what I meant. Where some of these people who talk shit had never been to something that fucking exclusive, where there's like 20 people there, or 10, the biggest players in the world. At that point, you're like, I think this is kind of the top. Where you're like, oh, there's Tom Hanks and there's the boss. I think this is kind of the fucking top, maybe. So, but yeah, but then you take bigger losses. So yeah, it's like 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. You know what I mean? So it takes a fucking long time. Unless you get super lucky and someone's like, oh my God, you're great. Here's your fucking thing. Which is pretty fucking rare. So I get that too. I know I'm going super long. I don't give a fuck. If the industry's not trying to have me, that's another question Jay had. If the industry's not to have me, why am I here? I get it, man. You know. I get it. I get it for people who feel like that. Did I break my watch when I was slamming on the ground? I hope not. Did I? No, still ticking. So yeah, like at a certain point, you're just like, you're writing, you're writing fucking amazing shit. You fucking know it, and you have a bunch of people backing you up on this too. You know, that you write amazing shit, and you're just like, why? If see, that's when it gets fucking like a mind fuck, when you're like, I'm landing with all these fucking tastemakers, all these big players, and I'm even saying no to some of them because I got too many fucking choices. Because they, like, several of them want to do it, so I gotta fucking choose one. Fuck, I guess them. You know what I mean? And you're like, and I still can't get shit made. What the fuck am I doing, wasting my time in this stupid ass industry for? You know? And you look around at them, and you're like, I know I'm more talented than them. You know, that reminds me of a club. I'm just rambling, dude. I don't give a fuck how long ago. It reminds me of a clubhouse where it was a bunch of writers in that clubhouse, and we just all started just singing and shit, and everybody could fucking sing to like a fairly professional level, you know. And that's another thing is a lot of a lot of writers do multiple things, you know. Like I can write the fuck out of a script. Go read my shit. Go read my shit. Give me notes. I've said this a million times. And then let me read your shit. And I'll give you notes back. Okay? You might not like them. Particularly these service people who claim to have claim to have read 30,000 screenplays and have written 10 screenplays. Let me read your three best screenplays. I bet you I shred the fuck out of them. Do you know who I'm talking about? Yeah, that guy. So that's what I would say. Ending that page. Write the fuck out of a script. And try to write a fuck you script. Prove them wrong script. You know. Again, that's what Christina's song Fighter is about. Ghosting, real quick. Ghosting. I see that, you know, people cry about, I got ghosted, I got ghosted, I got ghosted. The moment I, you know, realized, quit fucking crying about that, is when I don't think DeLuca would mind me saying this, because I'm not going to say who he told me ghosted him. But he told me I got ghosted by someone. And I was like blown away. You? You see what I'm saying? So when you're a brand new fucking nobody writer, I get I am too, okay? But I might have gone further than you, so I have some experience. I have more experience than none, okay? So when you go, when I see people crying about getting ghosted, bro, I'm telling you, DeLuca told me that he got ghosted. You know who else told me they got ghosted like all the time? Sherry. Ask an agent, bro. Ask a manager. They get ghosted all the fucking time. All right? But brand new writers in these fucking services and this kind of shit, they fucking cry about it as if it's like abnormal in the industry. It's not. You gotta understand, agents, producers, A-list get ghosted by people. Did you know that? So stop, wipe your tears, bro, and toughen up. The industry is not for people who are soft. It's not. They just make it look like that on the fucking Oscars. Like my homeboy Stan says, the industry is a master at marketing the dream. Awards, oh my God, money, fame. Sherry had a list of who ghosted her on shit, okay? Maybe not a lot of people know that. I think I mentioned it before. Sherry had a list. If you ghosted her on big projects that went on to be big hits, like Devil Wears Prada, Gone Girl, Wild, etc., yeah, you went on a list of, you go to the back of the line. You constantly passing on my shit and not responding, and I got to call you back and say, did you take a look at it? And then you don't even fucking call me back. No one knew Sherry better than me. Nobody, okay? Nobody, okay? That's how she operated. Then you go to the back of the line. That's just how it works, okay? I'm gonna end with this. Grudges. Grudges. People love to have grudges in Hollywood. I don't. I don't really give a fuck. It's not that deep. You know what I mean? So I'll end with this little story. I know probably everyone is clicked out at this point. I'll end with this story. So I want to say I don't believe in these screenwriting books. I read after I got signed. Then I read after I got signed at CA. Then I read a few of them, and I thought, like Save the Cat, you know, the typical ones. I thought they were mostly kind of bullshit. But I'll say this. A lot of people have talked shit on me. A lot of people have whatever. I'll tell a true story. Like, see, that's what people want to do, and that's where I'll end this. People want to do this in the industry. Cheers, Friday night. What time is it? It's early. People like to do this in the industry. They like to treat you like shit, and they want you to be quiet about it. Shh, don't tell anybody. If you do, I will try to ruin you. Let me tell you this story, okay? Because I don't give a fuck what this guy thinks. So, Paul Gio, right, who I thought was my friend, who would message me and ask me to come into the rooms back in the Clubhouse days. And he had my number, he would text me too and be like, jump in. And, because you ask good questions, And I tried to be respectful of the other, the three mods, you know what I mean? Even though one of them, I knew I was already fucking past them, as far as success, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still, whatever, I'll be respectful, And I told him, you can stay at one of my houses, bro. If you're coming through, I won't even be there, bro. I'll give you the code, And my lady's like, yeah, go ahead. That's your friend? I said, yeah, homeboy of mine. So, go ahead and stay there. They said, absolutely not. I would never stay there. Well, no, I would never stay at. And I'm just like, dude, like, what the fuck? I think the answer is, hey, I appreciate the offer, but I'm good. I appreciate the offer, And then we continue on this like text war that I feel like he started, and I'm just answering questions because he started every question with why this, and then I would answer. So, isn't that a question? Why, boop, boop, boop. And then, so I answered, doop, doop, and then we got all the way down to, you had nothing to do with the fucking Gone Girl. That's what he said to me. And he said to me that even if you did get any money from that, it was a gift. Really? Who does that? Hundreds of thousands as a gift for someone they're no longer with? Makes no sense, right? But here's what I want to say. He wrote a new book. I heard about it, called Kill the Dog. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good. So, I don't hold grudges like these other bitches. Maybe it's good. Maybe that's a book you guys should check out. Kill the Dog. Maybe that's a book that can help you. You see? Do you see my point there? My point about my whole channel is it's only meant to fucking help people. And even if someone was a fucking asshole to me, who I thought was my friend at the time, who had my phone number, all that shit, and I invited them to, I wasn't even gonna fucking be here, stay here, dude, Or stay at a different place. Still, I'm recommending, check out the book. Maybe it'll help you, okay? Peace.